I've been thinking a lot about what it means to live a values-driven life. I think about this because, well, one of the reasons that this comes up for me is that I tend to be one of those folks who thinks a lot. Some might say worries a lot, but I would call it thinks a lot. Um, and so any potential thing that might come up, I'm going to think through from every angle that I possibly can. And that can be pretty exhausting and labor intensive. And one of the ways that I found to work that process in a healthy and helpful way is to use it strategically. So when it really comes down to it, any decision that needs to be made, if you make from a values-driven place, you only have to think deeply once, as opposed to having to think through every potential decision from every angle. And let me give you an example of what I mean. During times in my life when I've gone through particularly rocky or rough moments and it was hard to know what to do. I think we go through that when we're in a hard time. The thought that we have often is, how do I handle this? What do I do? What am I supposed to do with this situation? The place that I often landed was, who do I want to be? And when you can name who you want to be, and for me that lands with values. I want to be a person that behaves with integrity. I want to be a person that I could be proud of a year from now when I look back at decisions that I made during that tough time. It makes those decisions much, much easier. So think about who you are when you're in a rocky period of time, and most of us are triggered and more reactive and more emotional, and that's a really difficult place to make good decisions from. But if you can get clear about what your values are, perhaps when you're not in one of those difficult times, perhaps tonight while you're journaling, get clear about what your values are, and then you can proceed from those values. So in that hard moment when you think about, gosh, really what I want to do is just yell at that person, you can go back to your values and think, okay, well, would that be in line with the values that are most important to me? For me, would that be an act of integrity? Would that be an act that I could be proud of a year from now when I look back at how I handled that difficult situation? And it's a guiding post.